The UFC is going downhill, and I'll tell you why. Now, like most MMA fans, currently we all feel a little burnt out. Maybe you missed a couple of those press conferences, a countdown video, or a couple of those embedded series vlogs. You don't recognize most of the names on a fight night card and aren't in the know about the fighters' backgrounds. Whereas before, you could name the fighter, where he's from, or even every one of his coaches. You stay up all night for a lackluster card and somewhat disappointing main event. But hey, sometimes that's just the name of the game. A bad stylistic matchup can have a guy like Bilal smother Leon for 5 rounds and 25 minutes of lay and pray fun. I know it's not so enjoyable for the fan, but that's not up to the fighter. A win is a win, and if a guy is doing it via boring grappling, then it's the other fighter's fault. He wasn't skilled enough to get back to his feet, stop a takedown, or throw up a submission. But nowadays, the UFC just seems different. First and foremost is the seemingly lack of blockbuster superstar talent. Where are all the big names? Alex Pereira is the current face of the UFC and Fighter of the Year, and that's well deserved. The man has swooped in to save 2 different UFC cards and had the quickest time to 3 title defenses. But where's everyone else? I'm not saying everyone has to be the next Conor McGregor, but damn, the star power is a little on the bony side these days. The current big names are Jones, Makhachev, Khamzat, Ilya, and Bilal.
Brother,
Alright, I thought I'd at least try to fit him in there. That's about it for those superstar-esque fighters, and these guys each come with caveats. Jones has been holding the heavyweight division captive and is currently ducking Tom Aspinall. Similar story with Makhachev and Khamzat in terms of low output on the fighting side of things. Makhachev, Jones, and Khamzat each fought a whopping 1 time in all of 2024. How are you supposed to build up your popularity and name if you don't fight at all? I get it. It's the UFC MMA. Injuries and setbacks happen, but 1 title defense a year is criminal. As for Ilya, he's on the right track and has all the features a big name should. Well, all but one. He's got the knockout style, the look, the belt, a couple big names under said belt, but the one thing he's missing is the English language. It's the same thing missing for Alex Pereira. To reach those superstar levels and transcend the sport, you need to have that personality that will keep the fans engaged. Ilya and Alex might have cool personalities, but the language barrier doesn't let them showcase it. Sean O'Malley was on the right track here to get into that Nelk Boy YouTube TikTok audience, but he lost to that plain salted white cracker, boring Marab Doofenshmirtz Willie. Some may not like it, but to get big, you need to be good both on and off the mic. But that doesn't mean you gotta force it either. Elite trash talk is a skill in itself. Guys like McGregor, Chael, and Bisping would eat other fighters during press conferences. They're quick-witted and have great delivery. Fans hate when the trash talk is forced. Just saying stuff to say stuff or starting some beef to try and get more views, it doesn't go well. That aspect needs to come naturally. Just look at Ian Gary and the switch up there. Before that Shavkat fight, he was clearly trying too hard to be the next McGregor on the mic. I get it, you're both from Ireland, but there's levels here. And him trying so hard had the complete opposite effect of what he wanted, and pretty much the whole of the MMA community turned on the guy. But during the lead up to UFC 310, he let more of his true self come through during the interviews, and now most fans have switched to his side. Not everyone has to be the next Nate Diaz or Conor and put up fake personalities. We need more superstars, but it doesn't have to be forced. And all this being said, the UFC does have a solid wave of fighters coming up, so the future isn't all so bad. We got guys like Diego Lopez, Bo Nickel, Shavkat, and some of the older guard is still running strong. Guys like Kamaru, Yan, Figgy, Oliveira, Whitaker are all still in the mix. The UFC is definitely in a recession, but the next big wave is out there. The fans just need to give some time for them to build up their names. One of the major issues with the UFC at the moment is how much they've watered down and chose quantity over quality. As a fan, there is just way too much content out there at the moment to the point where it's overwhelming. You got things like pre-weigh-in game shows, no-name fight night main events, and why the hell are there 80 different interviews that each fighter attends in the week leading up to the fight? These fighters are already burnt out from flying in and weight cutting. I don't think they need to be interviewed 5 times a day being asked the same questions over and over again. The fans don't want to see that either. Speaking of which, MMA media and analysts have the worst, most god-awful questions. I can't remember the last time I watched a full post-fight press conference. It's the same old power slap Dana White brown-nosing or unanswered what's next question. It's kind of like when you're trying to decide what movie, sport, or show to watch. There's Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, Peacock, Prime TV, Paramount+. Why the hell is there so many options? Whatever happened to good old whatever the hell is on cable television and Spike TV? There's so many options that people literally don't even want to watch anything anymore. The UFC doesn't have to put all this content out just for the sake of having content out. Put out quality good stuff and people will watch. Along with the plethora of content, there's also way too many fighters and most fans don't know the half of them. The roster has ballooned and is way too bloated. I know and get it. More fighters equals more guys being able to live their dream and earn money. But the UFC is and should be about the best of the best. The most elite mixed martial arts practitioners going up against each other. It is the ultimate fighting championship after all. But what do we have at the moment? Cards injected with up-and-comers and gatekeepers. It's so bad that even ranked fighters are refusing to fight below their rank and trying to cherry-pick fights. I'm looking at you, Colby Covington. Whatever happened to any time, any place, anywhere. We need guys to step up and fill that superstar void of MMA. I don't want a repeat of what happened to the WWE and the PG era, changing the belts and dialing down on the explicit content because that's what will sell the most. It shouldn't always be about the money, where the organization tries to cater to a specific audience and ends up on a path that forgets what got them to where they are in the first place.